Want a DIY cold plunge without the hassle of a full build out? This is a DIY cold plunge done easy mode. I'm talking like if you can pump up an inflatable stand-up paddleboard, if you can fit Legos together, you can build this cold plunge. You don't need carpentry skills, you don't need woodworking equipment, you don't have to worry about all the dimensional requirements of fitting a DIY cold plunge into your house. This fits in a very small box and can be walked out of your apartment, out of your home, in and out, however you like. You can actually even take this on an RV if you want. Set it outside of your RV. Who knows? The options are endless. So this is an inflatable cold plunge. It's a tub. It's about 212 gallons on the specs on this one. Unfortunately, this one is no longer made. I found out about this because I'm in the process of building a 150-gallon Rubbermaid DIY cold plunge that Joe over at DIYcoldplunge.com specs out. I sold my 100-gallon. I needed something because I couldn't do without cold plunging. So I got this and said, hey, I can set up a temporary setup while I'm building my other one. I actually kind of fell in love with this. I'm still building the 150-gallon, but this was so easy. It's easy to clean. It's easy to set up. It's great. This is built out of the same material that you'll see on stand-up paddleboards that are portable and inflatable, and a lot of different rafts for boating. It's very rigid, very hardcore, and it's absolutely sturdy. So this top, I mean, you can see this is, I mean, it's just as structurally sound as what you're gonna get out of the DIY one that you're gonna build in a wood shop. So this takes, if you've seen stand-up paddle boards that are inflatable or any of the other like boating furniture, water furniture, this takes the same kind of fitting that does. This is a low pressure, high volume, fitting that basically pumps up, and this thing will actually roll up. No, I got my Julie. She didn't understand what was going on there. But this will just fold up, and you can roll this. This whole thing will fit into maybe 4 or 5 shoebox size. So you can take this with you if you RV. If you're moving across country, it's really easy. It's very portable. It's pretty rigid. I mean, if you look at it, I mean, I'm really pressing hard on that. It's super solid. It also comes pre-plumbed with outlet and inlet for a chiller, pump, and filter system. I mean, this is brilliant. You don't have to put bulkheads through anything. You don't have to drill holes, get it to fit. This is just straight up ready to go. So when I bought the Plunge tub, I knew it was pre-plumbed. I wanted to have a chiller because I don't want to mess with ice. But you don't have to. You can actually buy this tub, start out by just filling it with ice and water. It's gonna last you a day, maybe 2, could even be 3 if you keep it indoors. I keep my house as cold as ice, like 64 degrees. So it would keep a really, really cool temp if you filled it up with ice 2, 3, maybe even 4 days. Then you have the option, if you want to upgrade, you can add a chiller. You can add a pump, you can add a filter, you can even add ozone to this. So I'm going to show you the backside here where I've actually plumbed this out. I did a GE whole house filter. I did an Active Aqua 1100 GPH pump, and I set it up with a chiller. This is a very simple 1/3 horsepower chiller. It's been keeping this really cold. We're talking like 54 degrees. It's 85 to 90 degrees out here in my warehouse for FitBody. It's got a little bit of condensation, but it's keeping up, and it's really done really well. So this is the DIY cold plunge done easy mode. So with this cold plunge, just like any other cold plunge, you're gonna fill it a portion of the way. It's not gonna be completely filled. You need to leave room for overflow. So you don't wanna fill it up to the 212 gallon mark. I've got it set at about 130, 140 gallons here. Currently I'm running it at 55, well it's 55 here. I'm running it at 54. My wife likes it warmer. I like it around the high 40s. So we kind of meet in the middle. So while there's not necessarily insulation per se, but there is a thermal barrier. There's air in this sidewall that's trapped, and it's kept really well. It's like 95 out here on the worst of days here in Kentucky, and it still keeps at 54 degrees. There's very little to minimal condensation on the outside of this because it is somewhat thermally insulated. And you know, you'll see here I've got it set 54 degrees, it's 55. We just opened it up to shoot with, and I also just plunged in it recently. Like I said before, it's plumbed out. It's very simple. You don't even have to do that. You can just add ice blocks. You can go add bags of ice. You can use your ice maker, and it should do really well at holding that. But we're going to take a look around the backside As you're setting this up, you're gonna wanna kind of set things in place, get your footprint squared away, make sure you've got enough room to actually hook up the hoses. If you're gonna put this up against a wall, you may just wanna run longer hoses out to the side. This is the pump part. It goes into the chiller, back out, and forces through the filter. The reason we have the pump at the beginning and not at the end or anywhere else in the system is these don't create a suction themselves. They have to have water pressure to get started. Once the water pressure is there, it will pump and go through. The amount of debris that might enter this chiller is minimal. In addition, with the flow rate you're gonna have through here, it's gonna force straight through. And you'll see when I take this filter apart that it does catch a lot of it. But as far as the flow is concerned, that's the best way to hook it up. Put the pump at the beginning, chiller, filter, and then if you're gonna run an ozone, you're gonna put it on top of here, on top of the whole house filter. Keep in mind, you can have big long hoses, but the longer hoses you have, the more condensation you're gonna generate, especially if there's a disparity between the tub temp and the air temp. In here, it's like 80, nope, it's 90 degrees. I just checked the thermometer. It's 90 degrees out here. You can probably see it on my face sweating. In my house, it's 64. So if I'm running this at 54, that's only 10 degrees. Outside, that's a lot more. So the longer the hose, the more condensation, the more water you wind up with on the floor. That's not great because it's gonna draw bugs, it's gonna get dirty, and honestly, it just looks unkept. So I shortened all of the hoses to the absolute bare minimum. I could have actually built a board to put all of this and mount it on. I didn't want to do that because I knew this was a temporary setup while I was getting ready to build my 150-gallon DIY cold plunge. Leave enough room to get to the controls as well. If you want to change temperatures, you want to go a little harder, you want to get to 40s, you're going to want to be able to get in here and program it, but make sure you leave enough room to get in there and change it. Most of these inflatable tubs have an inlet and outlet pre-plumbed for a chiller. This is a fitting here. You won't be able to see it, but it takes a standard PVC fitting, and I've got it hooked up to 3/4-inch hose that comes back. I incorporate a GE whole house filter. It's a cartridge filter. I change it out about every 2 weeks because my wife and I are the only ones getting in this. And then it comes back here to the chiller. The chiller has been retrofitted with 3/4-inch fittings on the top of here. It goes down here to an 1,100 gallon per hour active aqua pump. And then down here is another outlet. This is the 1/3 horsepower chiller. I have a link in my video description below to this specific chiller. It's available on Walmart. You can buy them on Amazon, but on Amazon they're about double the price. So, but you can find any other 1/3 horsepower or more powerful chiller will power this. Like I said, I did this as a temporary setup before I built my 150-gallon DIY cold plunge, but I kind of fell in love with it. Honestly, the look is really sleek. It's self-contained. You can clasp this down so it's if you've got kids and you don't want them jumping in and out of it, they're hard enough that you can't undo. So this is an option if you don't have woodworking skills or you don't have the woodworking tools or you don't want to hassle with a full build out. You're just dealing with some pipes and some plumbing. So I'll send you also some links that you can buy this setup that you can build on your own.